Hello!
Hi!
Welcome back to another episode of Bonnet Babble. I'm Katie.
And I'm Evie.
And I think this is episode
22.
22. Yeah, you remembered. I'd just completely gone out of my brain.
Yes.
Well done. So we're now back on to the personal saga, which is part 11.
Wait, is it 23?
I don't know. Might be 23, actually.
It might be 23.
You were so adamant there as well.
I thought, yes, I've got it! And then I thought, oh no.
Is it though? So part 11, foiled by lockdown.
Oh, the dreaded thing.
I know. And there
I
are
had lots of fun.
Yeah, there are lots of pictures in this, so I'll try and put them between the meow bees when they come up in topic.
Meow.
In our,
Buzz.
Yeah. Meow buzz. Yeah. So we're skipping ahead a bit here because this is after I stopped speaking to Mother Dearest. And that will feature in the Mother Dearest series at a later date. So I'm kind of, in typical ADHD brain style, I'm scattering around all over the place.
You are?
Yeah. You know, I was thinking the other day, I was like, why didn't I just write one saga all the way through and then start a new series and do that all the way through?
Because the worlds collide.
Yeah, they do. And it all crosses over and it's all over the shop. So we've ended up with all over the shop. Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. Yeah. So after we fell out, I hit another bad patch mentally. Yeah, as I do. This was kind of around the same time of losing the car in the ADHD one. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and I said in the last episode there wasn't another ADHD Chronicles episode, but there is. There's one more that I've already written.
Yay!
I was wrong. Sorry. So, yeah, I was still working at this point, just. And I tried to get some reasonable adjustments from work. You know, now that Mother Dearest was no longer in the picture, I had to get the kids. I was relying on breakfast club opening times rather than going at whatever time I wanted because Mother Dearest could pick up the slack. As I was now leaning on her solely for doing childcare for the kids because I'd separated from my husband.
Mm.
Yeah. So instead of leaving for work at 6 a.m, I couldn't leave until 3. What?
3:30?
I mean, that's quite a relaxed day, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I couldn't leave for work until 7:30 a.m. because that's when Breakfast Club opened. Mm. So I would hit the awful, awful traffic, and I was lucky to get into the office before 9. By which time, there was no bloody parking.
No.
And someone had usually robbed my desk because they ran one of those stupid hot desking system things.
Really don't understand that.
Neither do I.
People are creatures of habit.
Yes, especially us.
Same as when you're sitting on a bus.
Yeah.
You sit in the same spot.
Yeah, you want your seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite right. And, you know,
same with parking.
Yeah, me being me, because I didn't view booking a desk as being a critical function of my job, I'd always forget to book it.
You had to book it
You had
as
to
well.
book it as well. I was stupid. So let's give you more hoops.
More hoops.
Yay! Ding, ding, ding for the win. Ugh. So yeah, after a few weeks of having to park on a nearby estate and then walk in for an extra 20 minutes, meaning I was lucky to get in for 10 o'clock, and then I was really, really sweaty and had sore feet.
Ouch in heels.
Oh yeah, only to find that I'd have nowhere to work for the day because my desk had gone. Honestly, I'd get to work and if there was no parking, I'd just turn around and go home.
Well, I don't
I was
blame
like,
you.
I'm not doing this.
Because if you don't get any parking, there's a good chance you've not got a desk either.
Exactly. And I think I just hit my tolerance for stupid and irrelevant problems by that point. You know, I had so many bigger things going on. I was getting divorced and, you know, we were still arguing about all the finances and Mother Dearest and I had fallen out. So I'd lost a piece of my family and, it was just really...
Too many changes.
Yeah, like parking and a desk really do not feature on my list of problems I should be dealing with on a daily basis.
No.
You know? It's just unnecessary.
Unfortunately, you can't shrug on there, is it either?
No, I can't. Yeah, but I was shrugging. Yeah. Yeah. So considering the last few years had been hell on legs, I thought what I was asking for was reasonable. So this was off the back of I'd been signed off sick again for quite a long time. I think this was maybe after 3 months. And I'd asked for some reasonable adjustments. I said, you know, I want a parking space. So when I get in, I have somewhere that I can park. I want a guaranteed desk. And I don't want to be given broken projects that have a hideous level of stakeholder attention.
Yep.
You know, I want a low stress. Because there were project managers at the same level as me who were mooching about doing their hours only and doing a terrible job and getting a pat on the back for it.
Yes, but
And then there was me running around with my hair on fire.
you were the yes man.
Yeah. Well, no, I wasn't. I was trying to advocate for myself. Okay? Did I get any of this?
Difficult thing.
No, did I heck? Okay? I got none of that. Despite having a breakdown at the occupational health meeting that they'd made me trek the 2 hours into the office for, I only got one of my 3 wishes, or so I thought.
Which one?
Not being given broken projects.
No.
Yeah. So when I returned to work a few weeks later, and I was briefed on my new project, it was a £500 million beast that was 3 years overdue, wasn't resourced, and was on the critical path of a programme that could not be delayed. This programme had like proper ministerial attention. You could not delay it, end of discussion. Okay? So, ever the people pleaser, and really sick of fighting to get any support by that point. I'd already had the arguments with the NHS and failed miserably to get any help from them, apart from here, have more drugs. I thought, fine, I'll have a go. And within 6 weeks, I turned it around. I had a plan. I'd smoothed things over with the stakeholders and the customer.
Well done.
I'd produced a resource-loaded schedule, which they then refused to resource.
Of course.
Okay. So they told me that it had to be delivered by X date. And I've said, okay, you want it delivered by then I need these people. This is how many staff I need to deliver this by that date.
Yes.
No, you can't have that. I'm like, well, you can't have it by that date then. It's that simple. This is my job. You told me to produce a resource-loaded schedule. That's what I've done. That schedule tells you how many people you need to deliver it by this date. If you won't do that, you're not having it by that date. It's so honestly, that day I went home and I just threw my toys at pram. I was utterly exhausted. Pram. Mentally drained. My home life was falling apart bit by bit, and I could just feel myself slipping away again. So I quit. I just went...
That is the ultimate throwing your coming out the pram.
I'm not doing it anymore. I don't want to. Well, they hadn't listened to me.
No.
And then they were putting me in this horrible position again where they were going to hold me to account to this unachievable delivery date when they weren't going to resource me for it. And I was like, I'm not, no. And you won't take any stress off my plate by just giving me a bloody parking space and a desk. You know, that would have taken so much stress away from me. I know they sound like tiny little things, okay? But these things were really, really irritating on a daily basis. Because it shouldn't have been a thing. It shouldn't have been something I had to worry about.
I never knew hot desking was a thing.
Oh, it's so stupid. So anyway, I quit and then I lost myself anyway.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. My brain went, well, you've given up and you've let yourself down and failed.
No,
because my brain's really nice to me. Oh yeah, but I didn't see it that way at the time. And that delightful pit, yawned open in front of me. I was really disappointed with myself, and we were stuck in this house that I couldn't afford, and I'd been declined for mortgages because my credit rating was a bit battered, so I couldn't buy again. Mother had left and she was still trying to sneak her way back in, and I was trying to lay, boundaries to make sure that she didn't, because I knew that our relationship wasn't healthy and good for me. And everything was just in pieces. It was just, when you just feel like your whole life's imploded and you're like, why am I here?
Yes.
That's what had happened. Now, I just about managed to get us into a more affordable rented property. I paid a company to pack and move for us this time. They came in the day of and they chucked everything in boxes and took it.
Yeah.
And it was just as well because my son had a vomiting bug that day.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was great.
Just what you need on moving.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Now, the new house we had was, again, lovely. It was a bit smaller than before, as we didn't need the extra space for Mother Dearies, but it was still, for a 3-bed, $1,250 a month.
Ouch.
Which, around this area, is reasonable for a 3-bed. You can't get them much less than that.
Crazy how much rent has gone up.
No, it's stupid, isn't it? Now, I had a chunk of money left from the sale of the house that I hadn't already burned a hole in my pocket. I might do a little thing on what I spent all of my equity on. Because
That's a rabbit hole and a half.
Yeah, it is. Over time, I frittered it away on random crap. Anyway.
The next bit's not random crap.
No.
It's just random.
Yeah. So as I had that chunk of money left, I thought, will be okay-ish for a little while. Perhaps I could rest for a bit and recover from the madness that I put myself through over the last, most of my life, really.
Pick yourself up.
Yeah. But it was almost like by finally switching off, all the little demons that I'd squished into that mental box that I'd constructed for them broke free. Like that. We're going to run amok now.
Just imagining my daughter laughing.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Little horns like rampaging around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So
lots of her.
Yeah, so how to fix it? Well, I couldn't really, because, I couldn't get any help from the NHS. And, my lovely dad was already paying for private therapy for me, which was not a long-term position.
My dad's done that for me too.
Yeah. So instead I got some cats.
Cats fix it.
Yeah, cats fix everything. And I've always loved kitties, as we've discussed. I had a dog with my husband to conform with what he liked. And I don't mind dogs, but pussycats are my heart. So for my birthday in 2019, my partner and I, we got 2 Maine Coon kittens. Now, I'd mostly had moggies before in my life, and I had ragdolls from when I was about 17, 18. I had a couple of ragdolls. But Maine Coons were always my dream, because they're just big and grumpy and extra fluffy. And
their tails are beautiful.
Yeah, they're just gorgeous. Now, I've put a picture up of these 2 girls. These are Indian Nala. Now, Nala is no longer with us. She passed away 2 years ago, 3 maybe, from some sudden onset. There's a whole fiasco around that. And Indy was a bit schizophrenic and suddenly decided one day that she hated everybody and everything. To the point where she fell out with Simba, to the point where she was drawing blood and she was being an arse to Nana as well, who was her full litter mate, which made no sense. So we ended up having to rehome Indy. And she now lives with a lovely older lady in London. And
she's spoiled rotten.
Spoiled rotten. She is. She's hand-fed food. They built her own catio. And, this older lady, she crochets.
Yeah.
And she's always interfering with all the wool. She's just living her best life.
She really is.
Yeah, she's really happy. And then there's about 6 months later, after we got Indy and Nala, I'd gotten bitten by the Maine Coon bug. They are addictive. I got Simba. And there's a beautiful picture of Simba before he had all of his health issues. He is my gammy cat now. I might do a cat saga as well. I've got sagas coming out my eyeballs. Yeah. And then about a year after that, we got Monty.
He's beast.
He's a brute. Yeah. I'll put a picture up of him as well. And then. So India had been rehomed. So I always like to have 4 cats. I don't know why. I worked my way up to 4, and now that's the number that I have to stick to. So after Indy
I think
got,
you should add 5.
Yeah, I know.
Add another one.
Yeah. After Indy got rehomed, there was a gap in the house, wasn't there? So
Yeah.
I said to my partner, I was like, I really want another cat, and he said no. So I went to see a litter of moggy kittens. I just under the guise of I'm just going to have a look.
Yeah, because that's always worked well for you.
Yeah. And oh bless them, they were like flea ridden, and like this house was disgusterous. I wonder what the subtitle's going to make of that. Disgusterous.
Oh, it's my favourite word.
I know,
of course.
I love it. Yeah, but it was grim, and and I had to take him. I had to. I was like, I can't leave him here because he was this tiny little dot. And
Yeah,
they
you
said,
showed me pictures.
they said he was 6, maybe 8 weeks, and I was like, there's no way he's 8 weeks old. His eyes are still blue. So I took him. I took him, and he's my little moggy magoo.
Yeah.
And I love him to bits.
He's the only one that's allowed out.
Yes.
And he loves that.
He does. He loves being allowed to cat.
He's the smallest of all of your cats.
Yeah. But he's got such a big personality with it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's like the Maine Coon big personality. It's infectious.
Yeah.
Because they're all mental.
Well, he does have to live with them,
He
so...
does. Yeah. And then about a year after that, Nala passed away.
Mm.
And then about a year after that, we got Chester from Evie, who's my idiot ragdoll. And
He really is an
He's a
idiot.
lemon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he's ginger. So that part's probably
He's a
why.
flame ragdoll.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely
flame point.
stunning, but just got nothing inside his
No.
noggin.
No, he's beautiful, but he's just a moron. is very special. Yeah. Anyway, so around Christmas of the year that we'd gotten Simba, we all came down with proper plague. You know, the four of us were like death warmed up all over the holidays. And my partner and I tried to exterminate the viral infection by drinking intravenous Baileys, obviously.
Christmas tradition.
It
again.
is a Christmas tradition for me, yeah. Yeah. From the 1st of December all the way up to maybe the 2nd or 3rd of January is I wake up.
Yeah, it's been...
Yeah. I have Baileys in my coffee when I wake up in the morning. Might have a glass of Baileys for lunch. You know, it's...
And then by the end of the night, you've gone down...
I've drank a whole bottle a day. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's no wonder I put on so much weight in December.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just
It's a lot of cream.
yeah, and alcohol, and it's just all bad. Think of the cellulite that I'm incubating around September. Ugh. Maybe I'll try and give it a miss this year. Probably won't.
No.
Probably won't. Yeah. But then I can't take my ADHD meds, so maybe I'll have to give it a miss.
Oh no.
Yeah. Like, what would I prefer? Baileys or flower power pills?
Oh, that's a tough choice.
Decisions.
I can't drink Baileys, so...
No, it gives you a really bad tummy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, so it turns out when the new year rolled around, 2020, we actually had been incubating the plague. It was the good old Rona.
Yeah.
Because there were so many people that Christmas that had like the
Oh, yeah.
worst cold of their lives.
Half of my family.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden in the January, it's like, oh, there's this new virus and we're all going to die. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. And it wasn't long afterwards that the first lockdown hit. So
March.
Yeah, it was.
But getting a call at 11 o'clock at night as I'm moving my bedroom around.
Oh, are you rearranging?
I was rearranging because my husband was away.
Oh, you do that when he's not there, don't you?
I know. Play the game of how much can I change before he comes back.
I think that's because you let all your ADHD out to play when he's not there.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
You're like, I can do it now, he's not here.
It does keep me grounded and, relatively
sane
and calm.
It makes you be a grown-up.
Yeah. But then when he's gone, I'm like, oh, it's 11 o'clock or midnight. I must clean down all these walls and rearrange all of the furniture.
Let's empty out all my kitchen cupboards.
Oh, yeah.
And then at 2 a.m, you sit there and look at all the mess you've made. You're like,
I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm done now.
Yeah, I'm done now. I go to bed. Well, tomorrow's Edie can worry about this.
Yeah, I remember getting a call about 11 o'clock going, have you seen the news? I'm like, no, I'm moving my furniture around.
Yeah.
And yeah, apparently it was the kids were not going to school.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a good job.
For an indeterminate amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, smashing, thanks.
Great.
I know, when I read that, I'm like,
Oh, wait,
you know
you
what
can't
I'm
leave
like?
the house at all?
Right.
Okay.
Which I was kind of fine with, but you know what I'm like with timescales?
Yeah.
I need to know there's light at the end of the tunnel. You can't leave me with a dunno at the end of it.
No, that's true.
Oh, yeah. That really sent me off the deep end now. Well, how long? Dunno.
See, I had a conniption over the fact that obviously
I
I
know.
know
That word's catching you now.
it is.
Yeah.
About the fact that I had to pay the gym bill, the gymnastic bill.
Oh, but they weren't going.
But they weren't going. But I had to save the space.
But
I just
oh, that's not
because I was paying for all sorts of different things to entertain the children with. I just
you
couldn't afford it.
Stone cold broke. I know,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. So thankfully, having the kitties at that point did keep the worst of my insanity just about at arm's length. But being stuck in the house 24/7 with my devilish human spawn, not what I'd signed up to.
Plural.
Spawns.
Yeah.
Yes. And I do. I love them to bits, really. But yeah.
We'll put the picture up of what actually happened.
Yes. Oh, for
And
God's
what
sake.
you walked down to.
Yeah. So my daughter hadn't even started school yet. I think she was... Oh, no, maybe she had. Maybe she was in reception. She might have been in reception because there was a period of time where...
She was in reception.
Yeah, because my son couldn't go to school, but she could go in for like 2 afternoons a week
And
or
your son
something
was
stupid.
meant to be in year 2.
Yeah, fine. I'll edit the post because I've cocked that up.
Yeah.
Sorry. It all gets so muddled in my brain now.
Well, to be
Especially in
honest, the
lockdown.
entire lockdown period,
Yeah.
that entire year, 2020,
Exactly.
is confuddled.
Yeah, completely. So, yeah, I had to somehow entertain and educate them all day when I could barely keep myself clean.
Oh, yeah.
I think if I'd had an Ofsted inspection, it would have been a WTAF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to do that, deal with a baby,
Oh, no.
and I had just started my own university course
Oh,
in
Jesus.
the February.
Oh, no.
I know, so I had to do that as well.
That's not nice. But I think I lasted all of 2 weeks with my best intentioned routine of educating or attempting to educate and making sure they were active and doing all the healthy things. Before it was pretty much chuck some cereal at them and let them crack on.
Just here's the box.
Just eat it, dry it, it's fine. Yeah, save on the washing up. Now, the housework got neglected again. There was washing going mouldy in the washing machine. The sink could have spawned its own form of life. Aliens, again. And I was taking on the world record for the great unwashed. Yeah, it's great. And I remember coming downstairs once to this scene. It's up there. Rice Krispies. Well, I think they're Cocoa Pops. Yeah,
they look like Cocoa Pops.
Yeah. Everywhere. All over the floor. And
they are everywhere.
They are everywhere. And they trashed the living room area as well. There was just toys and crap all over the floor. And I looked around at the utter chaos and went back to bed. I was like, I'm not doing it. Just no. Computer says no. Yeah, and my partner had been made redundant just before lockdown as well.
Oh, nice.
Yay. And my pennies were starting to run out from selling the house. So I had best intentions to save it. Yeah. They were utterly forgotten. So we applied for universal credit. The delight that is benefits. This is the first time that I'd ever applied for benefits in my life at the age of 30. I must have been about 31 here. Yeah.
Maybe.
Because I just turned 30 after I met my partner. And this was a good year, nearly 2 years down the line. So yeah, 31, 32-ish.
Well, yeah, we're in 2024 now, so and you're 36. So it
would make sense.
32.
Yeah. We're turning 32 that year anyway.
In the March.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, nice lockdown birthday.
I know, yeah, it was great. Sarcasm there, by the way.
Yeah. Got it this time.
Yay. So I had no idea really about benefits, having not been on them before. I thought to myself, surely they'll keep us afloat, yeah? I remember driving through council estates and seeing nice cars and satellite dishes, must be enough to live on, you'd think. And I was about to get a harsh reality check. As I said earlier, our rent at this place was £1,250 a month, which is very reasonable for a 3-bed house in our area. Yes, we could have downsized to a 2-bed, but we'd still be looking at over £900 a month just for a 2-bed, and then we'd have the kids squished into one room together, which would be untenable because they hate each other.
But they didn't before lockdown.
They were better. They still wound each other up, but
sibling rivalry.
So what I didn't know about benefits at the time was housing benefit was capped at £700 a month. Yeah. Great.
Ouch.
Really, really stupid.
Should have gone for the 2-bedroom.
But even then.
I know.
Even then.
Yeah.
So our award was £1,400 a month total for both of us. Total. Okay?
Okay.
So after I'd paid the rent, I had £150 to pay the rest of the bills and feed all 4 of us. Even if I'd been in a 2-bed and saved myself £350, all the bills, all the food, it's still not enough to live on.
No, that's not, because your gas, electric, water,
exactly.
and all of that shebang.
Yeah.
And then you've got weekly food shops, which mine is £100 a month.
Yeah.
A week.
Yeah. And, back then we were living out in the sticks and there was no main lines gas around us. So it was all stupid gas tanks, which was hideously expensive as well.
They are.
Yeah.
How do you do that in lockdown? When you've got to top it up with a key or card or something?
I don't know.
How did they do that?
I don't know how they did that. Maybe they managed to do some online gubbins. I don't know. Maybe. If you know, tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, amid the lockdown chaos at home, fighting so hard against slipping back into the pit that I knew I was failing, because you could see all the evidence around me. The house was a tip and I was the great unwashed and the kids were feral, and it was just, I was like, yay. And I started to get so bad that I'd been on the phone to Crisis Line and the Samaritans, who were just feeding me back into the same crap system that had told me that they weren't going to help me.
Well, I think at this point they're very overrun.
And that, yeah.
By a lot of people during lockdown.
And I knew I had to take action. So I applied for PIP. There wasn't any chance I was going to be able to work anytime soon. I was broken before lockdown. It wasn't going to get any better during it. The new Smarties that the quacks had put me on made me look like I'd been at a rave all night eating, a different kind of Smartie.
There is a picture.
There is a picture. I'll put
Her eyes are
put
like,
it up here. My massive pupils. I look like SpongeBob SquarePants. And my depth perception was shot to bits as well. I could hardly walk in a straight line. I don't know what they did to me. They were horrendous. Those tablets. Not good. So while I was at it, jumping through all the pip hoops, I was like, let's have some more hoops to make my life even easier. I started looking at council houses.
It's got to be cheaper.
Well, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what I didn't foresee was the hoop warehouse.
Oh.
That
wow.
The department.
I know. Yeah. I've been there.
Oh, it's ludicrous.
Oh, I know. I got so enraged by the council that I was with at the time.
Yeah.
Trying to get a house because I was sleeping on a mattress on the floor in a dining room.
Mm. And they wouldn't do anything.
And I was a single mother to a toddler.
Yeah.
And they said that they would put us in emergency accommodation.
Which is one of them nasty bedsits.
But they would charge me
hostel.
And it'd be £600 a month for a room in a shared accommodation. Oh. Where I'd have to share a kitchen and everything else. But £600 a month. And I was thinking, well, I'm not going to get any help with that. No. You're not going to help me with that.
No.
And you're going to put me in lots and lots of debt before I've even got to a place where it's actually safe for me and my son.
And because you would be in appropriate accommodation then, i.e. you weren't sofa surfing.
Oh, we wouldn't get a place quickly.
You'd be chucked right down at the bottom of the list. It's the whole system is just set
really
up to fail.
But because I had a mattress to sleep on, I couldn't get a house.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Yes.
So I was that enraged. I actually reversed my car up a massive curb and into a fence of somebody's house. Luckily, I left a note because they weren't in. But I left a note saying, I'm really, 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 really sorry.
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
And luckily, the man that lived there was really, really nice. Yeah. And he sent me a message because I left my phone number, all my details. He sent me a message saying, I've got daughters myself, so I appreciate the fact that you left a note and all your details. And I hope that one day, if they ever got into a sticky situation like that, they would do the same.
Yeah.
So he didn't charge me.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So no, the hoops that I had to go through. Turns out that to qualify for council housing, you need to prove you're in unaffordable housing, which, easy to do.
Yes.
And prove that you're unable to afford your current rent. Okay. Now the latter means that I had to purposely go into rental arrears. Otherwise they wouldn't help me. Now, I had planned on asking for some family support as a stopgap to prevent me from going into rental arrears, but it turns out I needed to let it.
Yeah.
Which is stupid. You need to get into trouble before we'll help you. Okay, now the best bit...
But then you...
No, the best bit, okay. The funny thing is that after I'd gotten into rental arrears, because I had to get on the list, was when it came to getting our new property... They got their knickers in a twist about being in rental arrears and told us that we couldn't have the house anymore.
Yeah.
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 Brilliant.
Been there.
Yeah. So about an hour after that news, I was a mess. I was like, well, what now? I remember phoning my dad in floods of tears and having a right flap and saying, I've done all my income and expenditure and everything. This would make life so much easier because the rent was like 500 quid instead of 1,250.
Just a tad.
Yeah. Yeah. This I can do. This will make life so much more comfortable, and maybe I can then focus on getting better rather than, living day to day and worrying about our security. And thankfully, Dad put his business hat on. Now, my dad's a bit like me and my ex-husband, where he's, quite cantankerous when you cross him. And he was not impressed by this.
Well, no, his daughter was in trouble, and they're causing the trouble.
Yeah, he's also worked very, very high up in business. Very. And is very familiar with contractual obligations and such. And funnily enough, about a week later, the social housing company miraculously changed their minds.
You still had to wait a week.
Yeah. But yes, we could have the house. In that week, I still had hoops to jump through.
Oh, yes.
And there's more to this that I didn't talk about because it's already quite a long post. I'm already at 29 minutes. Just really, really quickly, after my dad had spoken to them, they made me do an income and expenditure. So I put it all into different categories and all that sort of stuff and sent them a horrible Excel spreadsheet, which they then got and they sent it back to me and said, you can't afford this house. And I went, what? And what they'd done is they'd then double accounted half of my expenditure because they had like duplicate categories for like leisure spending and hobbies and stuff like that.
So hobbies and leisure are the same thing?
Well, yeah, but they had it split out. So where I'd put it both together, they'd counted it twice. Honestly, morons. So they'd ended up adding like 900 quid into my outgoings that wasn't a thing. It had already been accounted for.
Wow.
Oh, I went nuclear after that. Anyway. So
I can imagine the email.
Yeah. And a phone call.
Email ninja.
I even made the bloody phone call. I was that enraged. They messed me about so bloody much by this point. I was fuming. Now, I also got my nose put out of joint a little bit a few months later when we went to visit the new build property because we were moving into it was a council renovation project area thing. So they'd knocked down all the old scabby ones and built new ones.
Is this the last house you lived?
Yeah.
Down the road?
Yeah. 4 doors down from here.
Yeah.
It was only a 2-bed, which wasn't ideal, but the second bedroom was big enough that I could kind of partition it a bit for the kids.
Very cleverly by putting the wardrobes in the middle. So it was 2 separate bedrooms. Yeah. I think that's genius.
Yeah, it was good. But it was a lovely house. But what I didn't know again about social housing is you don't get flooring.
No.
Or grass.
No.
Or white goods.
No.
Yeah. So we had a nice house with dusty concrete floors.
I didn't have concrete. I literally had wooden.
Oh,
as in just planks of wood.
Yeah.
With the gaps so you could see
we had
through
that,
to the floor.
We had that upstairs.
Yes.
Yeah. But downstairs it was the concrete.
Oh, downstairs.
They'd just been built, hadn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they gave us, very kindly, kitchen and bathroom flooring. Big whoop. Like the cheapest lino they could find. But then the back garden, because it was a new build, there was no grass. They put 4 patio slabs down and called it a patio. And it was just like a giant mud pit. And again, I phoned them and I was like, I'm only here because I can't afford to rent privately. Like, that doesn't mean that I've suddenly, I'm money bags and have all these savings where I can afford to completely floor a property and sort a garden out.
Yeah, you've seen my expenditure.
Yeah, like where does that fall in there? I don't understand. And they were like, oh, it's just our policy. It's like, great. Yeah. So Dad to the rescue again to help us fund flooring and carpets. And genuinely, I don't know how anybody can do this without family support. Being in a council property,
no I wouldn't have done it without my mum and Martin and my dad.
And I didn't have any white goods either because when we moved into the more affordable place after Mum had left, because the new place had them, I got rid of mine. So I didn't have any. I was like, yes. So after a good search of Facebook Marketplace and a few family donations, we were finally set. Aside from the cooker drama that will probably feature in the ADHD Chronicles in future. Don't ask. We'll do, but later. I'll tell you later. So you're spazzing out because you keep vaping at your camera.
It doesn't like smoke.
No, it doesn't, because it
masks your
face, and then it's like, I don't know what's going on. Vape downwards, be fine.
Okay.
Anyway, so this was kind of our new normal, sort of. And there were a few hiccups along the way. I think part 12 part 12 can't cover our newfound nightmare neighbour. That's going to be a whole saga
she's
on
got
its
to
own.
have her own.
She does, because she's such a pain in the backside. It's unreal. Yeah, and it went on for so long, and there's so many grumpy emails that I can tell you about. Yeah.
Email ninja.
Yeah, and because I probably can, but maybe I can play the audio because I had to get CCTV cameras put up, so I can probably play the audio, but I probably can't put the video footage on there.
No.
But you can probably listen to it. I can be like, look, it's mental. Yeah.
Possibly.
Yes. I mean, I went so far as to transcribe all of the videos anyway when I was emailing the world and sundry about it.
I know you did.
Yeah.
Part of the email ninja.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so that's it for, what are we on, part 11 of the personal saga? Maybe. Was it part 11? Hang on. Hold the line.
Foiled.
Yes, foiled by lockdown, part 11 of the personal saga. Have a wonderful day.
Stay sane.
Stay sane.
Bye.
Bye.